This podcast contains explicit language, alcohol references, and fantasy violence descriptions. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello and welcome to Ursa Red, Cloud Walking. My name is Alexander Crutchfield and I am the GM for this series. Joining me today is Zach Stubbs.
Hi, I'm Zach. I'll be playing Enzio.
Also joining me is Kent Rawlings.
Hey everyone, I'm Kent, playing Roland Blacksteel, and ready to get into it.
And last but not least, we are joined by Dean Balter.
Hey everyone, I'm Dean Balter, and I will be playing Torbanese, and I'm definitely ready to get into this cool campaign.
Awesome. Last time on Ursa Red Cloud Walking, we started off. You guys had a lunch meeting with Xander of the Surface, and you guys had some conversations going through there. You've learned that he's been approached by Leonis of the Cloud, and they were trying to make some kind of deal. He's also been talking to you now. As far as that situation goes, he has to decide kind of which side he's on because he's not running for the chancellor seat. You guys went. Oh, before you guys left, Roland went upstairs and put a bug in the Senate chamber near where the Cloud Senator sits. Then you guys went back to the tower. You tried to formulate some game plan for where to move forward, and we kind of talked about how the rest of the series is going to go very briefly, where we mentioned that we're going to kind of skip from time to time. You guys decided that you needed to talk to the regional manager for crew infrastructure, and you guys went down to your little garage, got into your flying Jagex vehicle, and that had recently been painted by Roland, and you guys headed off. As you guys are in the vehicle, you are going to fly over the edge of the cloud and drop down, kind of making like a little swerving motion, getting in between the buildings. Traffic's not too heavy in this area because it's mainly cabs and wealthy people that have vehicles. Everyone else just kind of walks from area to area.
As we're trying to make that little swervy motion to drop down into the rise, I'm gonna continually just use my telekinetic shove to just shove the vehicle and make it outrageously bumpy and make it seem like Roland is just fucking it up on driving.
I'm driving this vehicle like it's like a bat out of hell. Shit, what's that fucking?
Like someone gave it to you for free, like a sponsor.
I'm just whipping this thing around. Like no traffic is in the way. I'm just going in and out of in between buildings and stuff. I am just I'm full on.
As you're driving, the little control console in the middle keeps it has your speed and things like that, and it's just turbulence, and then the whole car shifts over to the side.
I feel like Roland is pretty good in defensive / evasive maneuvers, so he is counteracting these random turbulences that are happening.
This is gonna be a weird one. It's gonna have a low DC, but we're gonna call this an animal handling check.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
Because I never get to use an animal handling check. So we're gonna call it 12.
Well, I rolled a 7.
Oh.
And we die.
Dude, D&D Beyond absolutely fucks me so hard. It landed in the corner and it was in between 18 and 2 and it just said 2 + 7.
Well, I mean, you're gonna succeed. It goes to the player because you matched the DC.
No, he rolled a 7 total, I think.
Wait, 7 total, or you rolled a 7?
No, he rolled a 7 total. Yeah 2 + 5.
Total.
Oh yeah, never mind. So,
the stick on the steering wheel is a little bit. I'm not used to it. We upgraded the vehicle a little bit, and the steering wheel is a little.
It's high performance.
It's got the Tesla one where it's not a full.
Yeah. Roland turns to the back. Just give me a few minutes to adjust to this, boys. I apologize. It's gonna be a little bumpy.
Yeah, right while he does that, I'm just gonna like telekinetic shove to try and basically hit the brakes and just kind of like just slam it from the front.
The brakes feel like a brick wall when you touch.
So I'm not gonna make severe consequences for how this is happening, but I just wanted to kind of gauge how rocky this is. This is like wooden roller coaster kind of
Yeah,
driving right now. And you guys kind of get into the town. You start driving slower because you're within city limits, and the Jagex car will automatically detect that and slow down you guys. Um, you guys are gonna get to the Jagex headquarters, which is like so at the very top. There's essentially the parking lot where pull you park the car with like the roof of the car up towards like the underside of what is the clouds platform, and on either side there's little walkways for you to get out. You guys obviously are going to have some kind of like special parking privilege, so you're right next to the door. um, when you guys hop out, you're gonna just like take a right. Your door, like I said, door's right there. Someone's gonna open it up for you, and you guys walk in to kind of like the Rises version of a really nice room. So everything is metal, but in certain places they have like stone and things like that have been masoned into floor tiles. But instead of it being like having grout in between, it's got little metal ridges that hold these bricks in place. Uh, the secretary is going to just show you to an elevator. There's like 15 elevators here, and one of them is the one that goes all the way to the regional manager's office, which is, since this is basically a city upside down, it is at the very bottom part of this tower that you guys are at.
that's pretty sick.
When you guys get down, so this to like the lowest floor, this entire floor, because my brain's trying to like flip everything upside down. The floor that you guys are walking on is basically just a giant tempered glass. Uh, so as you're looking down, you can see the vast amount of water covering the surface with ruins of cities sticking up out of them. Every once in a while, you might think that you see a glimpse of a person down there. But for the most part, like this is like a skyscraper that has crumbled and deteriorated, just blood damage, things like that. You guys are in a waiting area, and just in front of you is some wooden doors. One of them is already cracked open, and after kind of hearing you guys like step into this lobby area, you hear uh hmm you hear a voice call out from the other room that's like, "Come in." And you walk over to the door, you open it up, and there's a goblinoid sitting in kind of like a fancy chair behind a imported wooden desk. What do you guys want to do?
Torbity is gonna, walk right in. He's gonna see him, and he's just gonna be like, "Hello, how's it going today? I hope you're prepared to have a nice little chat."
Uh, I am. How are you, Torbanese? The regional manager's name is Dalx, Dalx.
You said DALX.
Yes.
Yeah, everything's going well, Dalks. And you know, last I spoke to one of your representatives, I gave him a little present to give to you. Did he bring that up to your office?
Um, I haven't yet seen him, but I'll make sure to ask him when I do. I've just kept sending him around to talk to people up there. There's a lot of great stuff happening up on the cloud. Room for improvements.
Exactly, which is one of the reasons I wanted to come talk to you. I think we can benefit from each other and make great improvements for each other.
And what do you have in mind?
Well, we all know that at this time the cloud takes all the taxes from all these companies, especially heavily on the other companies that are coming from the rise. And I think maybe we could do some extra tax breaks for a company that's so willing to work with the next chancellor.
I see. And what is what is it that you need from me in order to ensure this cooperation? And how do we guarantee that you are the next chancellor? Because it always goes to the cloud.
It has always gone to the cloud, but that doesn't mean it always has to. You see, I've been talking to a lot of people, and I think we have a good shot of winning as it is. But with your help, we could reach all across Ursa Red, and we can put out my name as the name of the people, the one who cares for everyone. And the better the public views me, the better the chance that I have to win. We can also, do some slander campaigns against any opposition.
Roland's eyes perk up, and he pulls out his notebook, and he starts thinking of slander campaigns.
uh, I do like a good slander campaign. Who all is on board with this? Because there are companies that we try to reach out to and interact with, and there are companies that we don't. And there are companies that may not like it if we help you when you're being helped by someone else.
I see. Well, as of right now, as if you haven't noticed our beautiful ride that we came in,
It's
we
like
are working with
15 stories
Jagex.
up.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely no way for him to see that. But we are working with Jagex at this time, and we have some tentatively we may be getting some help from Mayak. Uh, and after we speak with you, and if you secure this relationship, then maybe you have some companies that you're already working with that we can tag along with,
We're looking to get the heavy hitters on board first.
Hmm,
which is why we came to you.
fair enough. Fair enough. I I would be willing to reach a cooperation. I do need to reach out to the head office and see if they're okay with us getting more involved in the political landscape here on Ursared. I don't see them having an issue with it, but rules are rules and order must be followed.
Well, you let them know that I'm willing to drop taxes entirely from your company as long as we get your support.
There's
Uh,
also room here for us to reduce some tariffs for you. Most of your company is outside Ursa Red, correct?
yes,
Yeah, so we can also try to work to collaborate more.
I like it. One thing that I think is a would that would be beneficial to us. Right now, the main people in charge of uh, routine maintenance in the under is Neocorp. I want that job.
Well, I don't see why we couldn't help persuade. Uh, we'll talk to Landon after this, and maybe we can secure a position. What how far are you uh, trying to incorporate Neocorp.
I don't think it would be good for you to associate with Neocorp right now.
Hmm.
They're having some real issues, as I'm sure you know, uh, maintaining order, and I think crew infrastructuring can maintain much better order in the under than Neocorp can. And honestly, I don't like the fake humans. You know, the ones with the robotic arms and eyes, and it's not natural. And that's all they do.
Well, I can't say that you're wrong. Sometimes it is a little creepy if you see someone who's got a bunch of these robotic parts. You never know uh, what they're planning on doing. So I think we can make a pretty good deal. Uh, but I do need to know if if your company will be on our side, because I can't go through with any of this until I become chancellor.
As far as direct support, I can't confirm anything until I reach out to the head office. But I will start running these safety ads that I was told about. If we have a working understanding that if you're chancellor, crew infrastructure will take over, overseeing shipments from the under as well as uh, security.
I think that makes a fine plan, and he's gonna reach out his hand for a handshake.
He is also going to reach out. He's going to shake your hand, and you kind of feel like the little, like claws, not like digging into skin, but just kind of on there. Is his like sweaty palms, like they're just naturally sweaty. Just kind of give like a little, grip, not not like holding onto your hand, just like enforcing the handshake and then letting go.
All right. Well, he's gonna wipe his hand off after the shake.
Before we leave, Roland, I'm gonna turn to Daleks and hey, Daleks, did you did you
Doubts.
happen Daleks? Sorry, my apologies. Did you happen to receive our gift?
We already mentioned this.
Oh shit!
I
Oh, this
haven't
is
seen the lobbyist yet. He's been doing stuff for me up above.
that's insane. He said he was coming right here.
No, well, plans change.
Anyways, Torbanese, so I have an idea for this slander campaign. Whenever you got time.
Well, uh, we
Maybe
can.
maybe back at the office.
Yeah, we can
Anytime
definitely
is good
discuss
for
this.
me. I'm around.
So you guys are heading back up to the car.
Yeah, yeah.
As we're on the way out, I'm just gonna say into his head, to Dallas's head, Senator Torbanese has many more resources at his disposal than he lets on. We can make sure that what you're looking for can come true.
All right. Sounds good. So you guys get back to the car. Are you heading back to the office, or are you going somewhere else?
Uh,
Let's make some rounds.
yeah. I think.
Yeah, we haven't been to the Rise in a while. It'd be nice to get around, see some friendly faces. I know my good buddy Jameson. We used to get in bar fights all the time. He's second fighter to only me. I haven't seen him in a while. Maybe
Let's
we
make an
can.
excuse to go see your actual friend, not that friend, the friend from the bar the other night that was oddly upset about
Yeah,
the
Jameson.
chancellor's passing. Is that his name?
No.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, Jameson. My good friend James. Oh, you're talking about Mayick. No, fuck that guy. I want to go see Jameson. Guess
We
who's
can get some
driving?
Jameson on the way to make.
And Roland just instantly starts driving the car in a direction.
I have no idea where you're going. Properties, what should we make our excuse for popping by?
Campaigning.
This is at yeah, that's very true. That's actually a very simple and straightforward answer. This is the goop manufacturer, yes?
Who are you guys gonna try to talk to? Um, obviously, like they've already kind of, I believe they've already reached out and said like they were planning on supporting Corbinice in the campaign.
Mhm.
I believe just financially, but like because they were on board. It's a local company, like right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, my notes aren't loading at the moment. Uh,
Yeah, I think we kind of had like Mayak kind of seemed like he was on our side for all intents and purposes of like votes and money wise. Like he seemed pretty open to the idea. Um, we haven't really talked to Landon, but we also just got told not to really talk to Landon. So
It'd be interesting. Enzio kind of brought up a good point, making some rounds. It kind of goes back to what Mayak was saying about the shenanigans going on around here. Maybe we can pop into some of the local places and see if we can get a better understanding of what might be going on that the chancellor was investigating.
How out of place do our outfits look for just regular people of the rise?
you not so much. Roland and Torbonese like
oh yeah,
stand out.
I'm dressed
Stand
up
out?
like a motherfucker.
I mean, he is the senator, and I am his trusty bodyguard.
Hmm.
It sounds like both Mick and now Dalks have an understanding that there's something going on with Neocorp. So either we could go return to Mick and see what else he knows, and under the guise of locking in the specifics of their support for Torbernese, and then we can see if Neocorp is up for the idea. In
Well,
which case, I would be getting out early before you guys arrive and taking my time.
Hmm.
I mean, I think it'd be interesting if we could find someone that could give us more insight on what exactly. Because so is are there a lot of just different types of jobs like factories, manufacturers, and stuff right here, or in the rise, or is like working for one of these companies like Neocore or some of the other ones? Is that like pretty much for reference, like being in Kentucky and Eastern Kentucky, like most people work for the coal mines. You know what I mean? Like,
So the platform, right, is operated by a single company. There's a company that is responsible for making sure that the cloud's platform stays in the air. Surrounding that, there's car manufacturers, there's the telecommunication, there's food, there's logistics, and then there are research facilities. But for the most part, like if you go to a convenience store near Neocorp, uh, it belongs to Neocorp. Those are Neocorp employees that are working there. If you go to houses in the vicinity of Neocorp, that is Neocorp houses. Same with all of these corporations. People work for the company, in exchange they get a small paycheck and then a place to live, things like that. This is very much like was it the nuclear communities in America, I think is what they were called, where
Mhm.
you worked for the company and the company basically owns you.
Obviously, we know like we know some of these companies. Is there any of these big companies that we haven't like met with their heads yet?
Yes, and but even for you it's kind of hard to just walk in on like the head of a company.
Mm.
They still like they are leading a company basically whenever they're awake. This is their whole life. And so it you kind of have to schedule for a meeting or else they may not be in their office. They could be, you know, out and about doing stuff. They could it's very busy people and you're really got to make sure that that schedule kind of lines up.
Mm.
Is there a local bar or tavern or anything that a lot of like neocore employees frequent?
Yeah, there's several uh bars and restaurants around Neocorp. It is not necessarily the uh what's the word? Best idea to go in and just start like talking crap on Neocorp because this is a Neocorp restaurant with Neocorp employees serving drinks or serving food.
Mm.
So the thought process behind this was to go into one of those places and
Pierce the
possibly
ground.
see if there are any disgruntled people, someone who may have looked like at the bar like they may have just lost their job, something along those lines of, hey, just talking to them and seeing what was going on and if there was any more meaning.
Right. Um.
Yeah, that was what I was getting at with
So
the what
you.
our outfits looked like. We would need to
Mhm.
blend in better before we did something like that.
The thing is, though, is I would say that the senator from the Rise is down here in the Rise visiting the people, and we were just going to local bars, drinking some beers, eating at restaurants, not particularly looking like we're digging for information, but more so along the lines of just getting our face out to the people. I mean, Torbanese
That's what his campaign's on.
whole
Yeah.
campaign is for the people, so I feel like we could easily play that off as we're here, we want to be in person.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that's something that Torbanius would do.
Yeah. You might find like a disgruntled employee, but anybody who just lost their job
They
no
died.
longer lives in the Rise.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're executed.
Yeah.
Or the more common thing that happens is they, depending on the company. So, like for instance, Neocorp. The more common thing is they find some reason that what you did was legal, and then arrest you and send you to the under.
Mm. Yeah.
Interesting.
I think we would start like campaigning though. I think that'd be like the next step is just go down to the people, get them to see our face, uh, and try to get the word out. Maybe text Aaron again and be like, "Where the fuck are the posters?"
Yeah. And then, yeah, I think we would like to, what Roland was saying with the doors always open, the picture of the open door on the posters. We just go and we're here to hear their complaints, to hear their voices.
That was Aaron's show.
Yeah, we'll be the posters themselves.
You guys are gonna just pick a bar at random, um,
Oh, we
and
just bar hop through the rise.
okay, uh, at when you go kind of get to like the first bar, there's like a children's party, because this is kind of like a pub kind of thing where they serve food and have drinks, and there's like a children's party happening. You guys just start talking to people. Um, some of the big complaints that you hear in this particular bar have to do with how often people are away. So, uh, it's this little girl's birthday, and like her dad is down in the under. So it, yeah, you kind of get that a lot. There's like a woman who hasn't seen her husband in a few weeks, and she's expecting a child like any day now. So this seems to be like kind of more a bar that focuses on like people in the under. When you guys go to other bars where it's a little bit more like adults and working age people, uh like you kind of start hearing like um accruing debt to the company that is growing faster than they can make money, um all under like the guise of like them having to pay taxes for import export and things like that. um there's scientists that are working a lot more on the practical side than like the planning side, which is kind of what they were promised when they came to the job. Um, yeah, a lot of things that are easy to justify as like, oh, well, that's what the company has to do in order to, get these products out and things like that. But also at the same time, it's like that's kind of scummy for this person. Makes sense for the business, but not not the best for them.
Hmm. While we're doing this, can I also uh, try to start a rumor about uh, the cloud campaigning against us? And I'd like to try to start this rumor stating that, already it's hard for some of these people to live, and that the cloud keeps wanting to impose more taxes on the rise and make it so it's gonna be even harder for people in the rise to live, and me trying to become chancellor so that I can resolve that and make it easier for the people.
And you want this to be like a full blown rumor.
Yeah, like I'm gonna try to like start that rumor so it starts like spreading, and then every bar we go to, it kind of spread it.
Uh, Persuasion 24.
All right,
Have
um,
as we've been jumping around bar to bar and stuff, have we seen Mayak anywhere?
No, the lobbyists do spend a majority of their time
In the
in the
cloud.
cloud. I mean, if your options are, you know,
I got a 25, by the way.
okay.
Just barely.
If your options are being in like, you know, just this beautiful city up on top where everything is whatever, or being in like this I mean, the entire city is in a shadow. Like
Yeah,
it's
that's fair
dark,
enough.
it's gloomy, there's not a lot of lights and stuff around.
Just by chance we caught him on a meeting day, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean, if he did have a meeting, he'd probably be at the actual company, and you guys are hanging around at
Bars.
like the bars. But
That's where I would go right after the meeting.
yeah, like you guys are just kind of getting like a general like, oh yeah, no, I really enjoyed my job when I was doing what my job was, and now I'm kind of filling in for other people that you know. So that's kind of like the whole thing that you're getting from them.
Can I send a message reaching out to Neocorp and basically being a representative of Senator Torbanese, looking to uh, establish a meeting with the leadership of Neocorp.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely can, and I'll let you know when they respond.
Basically, kind of his people talking to their people.
Hmm.
And I'll be his people.
Uh, Sick. So you guys have gotten a bit of information about just like the issues going on here.
Mhm.
Um, and I will say you kind of just pick up on like a regular thing of like, oh yeah, it didn't used to be as bad, but like head scientists are going down to the under to oversee things, and there's like people that are just having like a relaxed day at home, and then they have to go. And so this is very clearly like where issues are happening. You don't know the details of what's going on, but you know that most people are like, oh yeah, he used to go down to the under once a year for 4 or 5 weeks, but now he's down there, like he's been down there a while.
Are they returning here and there? Like they're just making constant trips down there, or they're going and never returning?
They went down and haven't returned.
And this is multiple companies, or this seems to be occurring from a single company?
Mainly Neocorp. So right now, Neocorp is in charge of security for imported exported goods from the under, and so they maintain the security for the train. Um, that so there's a train that goes from the cloud to the rise to the surface, and then there's another train that goes from the surface to the under, and they like share a depot on the surface. Neocorp is responsible for security from the surface to the under, and also goes down there whenever uh, like the leadership down there, uh, the families of the under are not meeting the uh, criteria set for them.
Hmm.
So this company is very much kind of running the under, because remember the political guy has nothing to do all day. It's because he doesn't even go down to the under. The only people who go down to the under to kind of enforce Ursa Red politic things is Neocorp. Neocorp is currently the company that has that contract and is doing all of that.
Maybe
Yeah.
we should
So
take a trip to the under, boys.
I
Be
don't think we
quite
should go that
interesting.
far.
I mean, it'd be quite interesting to see what goes on down there. Just poke
But
our heads
perhaps
in.
there's a way to see what's going on, not in the under. Keep in
Yeah, I
mind,
think
if
when you
they
suggest
control the
that,
train for going down to the under, there's a potential for us not to return either.
Yeah, but
yeah.
I
Also,
control
when
the
you
car.
when you when you suggest that, I'm also just immediately just like almost gag. Like the thought of going down there's absolutely zero chance that he's gonna go down to the under.
You're not curious at all, Torbanese.
Uh,
I
Ro-
know that. Yeah.
Roland, you do remember from, because you're originally from one of like the tribes
Mm-hmm.
or the colonies on the surface.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you do remember like rumors about like there's like an elevated area not far from where the train depot is, and you remember hearing rumors of a passage that goes down. Um, but nobody's came out of the passage, and not a lot of people have gone in.
Enzio, it's very bold of you to assume that we would just take the train car down there. Let me tell you, there's another way.
Mm.
Yes, yes, there is. I
Is that
mean,
way safe for the senator, Mr. Bodyguard?
it is when I'm there. I mean, it's pretty simple. You follow me, everything's good.
Well, I think maybe we should secure a better stronghold, foothold up in the rising cloud and surface before even attempting to go to the under. And as he says under, he like gags in his mouth just from saying the word.
Hmm.
But seriously, Torbernese, you're not interested at all of what the under's like? I mean, I know the cloud is extremely nice. Like even the under compared to the surface where it's flooded mostly, it doesn't really compare. But I've always been interested to see how things kind of operate down there.
To be honest with you, I have zero interest of seeing the under. We can make it better for them, but
For the
there's no
people.
there's no chance that if I go down there, it would be a good idea.
Okay, that's fair. So, anyways, on to the next idea. So we were talking about slander earlier, and I wasn't really paying attention to
I
yours.
thought
And
we could talk about this when we got back to the office.
so we're in the car. It's basically our second office.
Shouldn't you focus on driving, and then I'm gonna telekinetic shove and
No,
hit
no,
the
no,
car
no.
again from
Yeah.
this,
Hey,
like
so
from the back. I'm just gonna like just hit it just to the side like that.
do I realize that these are outside forces that are impeding on the car?
Oh, absolutely. Turbulence.
Turbulence. Interesting. Well, I'm gonna let turbulence take the wheel for a little bit. We're fine. Trust me. This thing's on autopilot. So Torbanese, here, my idea was that maybe we can have another person put out a extremely crazy rumor that Leonidas is the reason for the Chancellor's death. That could
Who's that?
cause extreme chaos throughout the entire cloud, and all it could sway people in some of the other levels on whether or not maybe Leonidas is the birthright right choice for the chancellor's seat.
Roland, before we continue this conversation, uh, you do know his name is Leonis, correct?
I thought it was Legolas. I am so sorry. Not very good with names. I'm just a bodyguard.
I just wanted to make sure that this is the person you're talking about, because if we just start saying Leonidas has killed the Chancellor, we may end up having the wrong
Framing
person
someone
being
unintended.
accused.
Yeah, we can get the details down later. This is just a general discussion.
Well, I think at our rally, we can maybe bring up some of the seediness of Leonis, but we'll keep that in mind before we start putting out too many rumors. I don't want it to get a little unbelievable until we can put out a little bit more slander.
I think the simplest would just be to sow the seeds of doubt, such that it's very convenient for the Chancellor to perish when Senator Leonis had so much to gain.
That's what I'm talking about. Just throw it out there that all fingers kind of point to that guy. No, Leonis? What was it again? It's hard to hear you up here. The turbulence.
Yeah, well, I think this could be something that we can talk to Daux about. We can add that to the list of slander that he can push out for us once we make our union work better.
Oh, don't worry.
We'll
I
just
already have something written up.
we'll just need to make sure that it doesn't come from you, Senator.
Exactly.
Correct. Which is why I think if crew puts out that information, it's not directly linked to us. Is there like a news company?
Um,
like CNN or Fox, but for
Sure.
the rise or for huh?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, there is one. Um,
I believe
Yeah.
it's the UR at noon, right? Or surrender at
you.
noon. Because it's always noon.
I will reach out to them as well and see if they're interested in bringing Senator Torbanese in for any kind of interview that we're interested in participating, being open and upfront with the media.
All right. Yeah. So I think that's a good idea. We'll make an appointment with UR at noon, and hmm, I would also like to send a message to the owner of UR at noon and just and say that he wants to have a meeting with him at some point to discuss some benefits of him being on the show.
So what kind of meeting? So you can go. So the news station is still in the rise.
Yeah.
Um, you can either meet him at that business, or you can make uh, like a visa essentially for him to come up to. Uh, it's like a press visa for him to come up to the cloud and meet him up there.
I think while we're already in the rise, I think we're gonna try to. I'm gonna try to meet him at his building where he's comfortable.
Um, uh, sick. So, kind of want to end this episode by just like, so if you guys had a week, summarize what you do in a week,
Hmm.
and like things that you want to accomplish.
So I think it would be too much to kind of gloss over. I think we probably need to actually do it. But assuming that we were able to establish a meeting with Neocorp, there would be essentially the two of them would go in and try to make the meeting as long as possible and get as much information as they can, while I go in
Yeah, we'll
separately.
play through that one. This is so you guys are gonna have like a week before that meeting is in
Yeah.
place. So I'm mainly like campaign wise, like who are people that you want to talk to and get on your side, and what are you offering them in exchange for what they're giving you? Kind of like big political scheme where like it won't make a huge difference. It's just maybe assets that you have, like you want to have in your back pocket for later.
Uh, so Torbanese is gonna definitely try to get the news outlet URN you are at noon to
Hmm.
like be on his side and pretty much like spew political shit for him. He's also gonna try to see if he can get like some dirt on the guy who runs, or woman, I guess, whoever runs the You Are at Noon,
Mm.
um, for potential blackmail if he has to.
Okay. Uh, so we'll make that like your interview and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be like 2 hours before your scheduled meeting with Neocorp.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then the next, like the day after this meeting, is when the Senate's going to convene for final ruling on that bill that I gave you.
Mm-hmm.
And then the day after that is your guys' political rally. So those are all things that we're going to go through in our next game. Uh, and I'm excited to play that because that should be an interesting episode.
That we back to back to
I
back.
have, yeah, and I've got some ideas of how what I'm gonna, well, what Torbanese is gonna try to do for the rally and stuff. So
Okay, cool. Then with all that to look forward to and a lot of progress made this episode, we will see you next week. Ursa Red is directly supported by our subscribers on the Tactical Crits Patreon. If you want to listen to content we have already released, you can find us on most podcasting platforms at Ursa Red. Once you finish that, go listen to Legion of Dice, another one of our Tactical Crits podcasts. If you want to get notified on new content, please like and subscribe. We would love to hear from you, so please leave a comment or engage with us on social media at Tactical Crits almost everywhere. Thanks. See you next time.